Leeds United, nil Manchester United, 2 Man United go to Ellen Road and get the 3 points. A very tough game physically, but United were able to get two goals and 3 points, and they were out of there. Joining me today from London is Vim, the analyst. Vim, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, how you all doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. And Louis, Houston Red Army, now Denver Red Army. Louis, welcome to the show, mate.
Appreciate you, Tim.
Right, Louis, you've never joined us on a Sunday, have you? Because we always have a
I'm
Sunday.
not, man. This
right.
is my first Sunday show.
Louis does the midweeks with me during the midweek.
I know, I've watched them. Pretty good. Right. So Louis, looking forward to chatting with you on Sundays now.
Right.
Awesome, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Gentlemen, we lost 2 points last week at Old Trafford. This week, people even thought it was going to be a tougher game, which it was, but United found a way. Louis, how did you see this game with that lineup with Maguire starting, no Varane and no Martinez? What was going through your mind when you saw that lineup? Talk me through quickly.
I saw the lineup. I went to the bar and I asked for shots. Something to quell the nerves, man.
Well, how many shots did you have?
Yeah, right.
You lost count.
No, definitely. My biggest concern was, and we had just talked about it a minute before we jumped on, Tim, was the spine. The spine of the team. Maguire, Fred, and Weghorst. That middle channel. I was shaking. I will not lie and say that I was confident. I was shaking definitely when I saw that lineup.
Right. So, Vim, when you saw Maguire starting, the captain returns, delegating, orchestrating things, what was going through your mind?
Captain, oh my God.
The formidable Titanic returns.
There you go.
I guess we've got to play him because we've got a tough game on Thursday against Barcelona, and so we need our prime people ready for that. We don't want to risk any injury with Leeds, who are quite rough and aggressive, and you can see the way they try to foul our players. Very aggressive, high boots, showing the studs. Pretty dirty team, in fact.
Yeah.
And my brother-in-law is a Leeds fan. He probably won't appreciate me saying this, but gosh, it's always a dirty game with Leeds.
They've always been a dirty team, right from back in the day.
And there's a lot of history as well, so they like to take it out on us. They like to hurt our players. So we can risk Mr. Titanic on these games. And, you know, it won't be such a great loss. What was a great loss was Casemiro missing and Eriksen and the trio with Bruno. That's what's been missing in this game and the last.
Right. I mean, a lot of people said because they were able to get a point, they kind of forced our hands on Wednesday and we had to come back from 2-0 down. That you know, we might even get a bigger surprise. But you know, I thought United were under the cosh, but found a way to get a result. Louis.
Yeah, no, I think I very much expected opposite results, right? I expected us to win at home, and then I thought the away game would be extremely, extremely difficult. Where Ten Hag, I think, gets all the credit is at home, slightly stronger lineup. You expect to get the win, but the fatigue and the lack of signings and the injuries obviously played its role, and then we get out of that win 2-2. Today, first 60 minutes, 65 minutes are a travesty. It's abysmal. No, I'm serious. I was sitting there thinking it was the worst game that we've played all season, and a season that we've been flying. You know, we've been doing very, very well. So it was bound to happen to have a really bad game. But where Erik Ten Hag steps up is the subs. The subs were spot on. They were timed correctly. They were the right choices. Once you bring Martinez in, the pace of play, the speed of play picks up. We're able to kind of build out of the back a little bit. Garnacho offers you a little bit more in the creativity that Weghorst cannot. And Rashford is able to kind of move a little bit more left to right and that kind of thing. And it's just, he played that the best way that he possibly could. So massive, massive credit to Ten Hag today. Yeah, hi. Love it, man. Getting the future fans on, man. That's
there you go. There you go. So Vim, you know, overall, United were under the cosh for certain periods of the game because it's like Leeds took the game to us. The Gea particularly kept us in there. Where were you going when you saw the pressure we were under?
It was more the same as what we had in the last game. It was they were pressing very hard. They were playing more aggressively than us. They seemed more up for the challenge than we did. We didn't have our A stars on the team for obvious reasons. We're missing Casemiro, we're missing Eriksen, and we didn't play Garnacho, who does inject something else on that left hand side.
Right.
For me, the problems are with the spine, as you say, Louis. That spine was very weak. Fred is absolutely terrible at keeping possession. Maguire is too slow. I mean, you see how many times he picks up the ball in defense and he's like holding onto it for about 10 seconds because he doesn't know where to pass it.
Yeah.
And then he just passes to his defender and then he passes it back and then he goes back again, like Louis van Gaal football. It's too slow. You give the team plenty of time to get back into formation to make sure everyone's marked up.
Very correct.
He's too slow. I don't know why he's so slow, but it's too slow. He's the slowest player on the pitch.
Well,
I guess ships are always slow, right? Because they take so long to maneuver.
That's why he's better with 3 back, isn't it? Because he has those immediate options, and it's always left and right. When he plays forward, he loses the ball, but left and right, it's safe. He can play it relatively quicker. I mean, today was just he caused so many problems for De Gea, and then
a lot of problems
up in such a massive way.
Did you see that one where he took so long to turn back and he got nicked off him and they nearly scored?
Yep.
There was a back pass to him.
Everyone was screaming at that point when I remember that.
It's like when it goes to him, everything just goes into slow motion.
Yeah.
Why does it take so long?
Everyone is like, when he gets
come on, Maguire, hurry up. Anyway, so the thing is, for me, what I noticed today is that he was almost playing like a quarterback. He's the guy that picks up the ball deep and he's trying to distribute it, and he was giving away the ball to Leeds all the time. And the changing point of the game, the turning point of the game was when Martinez came on, and he did that role to perfection.
Right.
Because he was almost doing what Casemiro and Eriksen do. It's picking up the ball in defense and distributing, finding that way to make that transition into attack very quickly. Maguire can't do it. He thinks he's got a good range of passing. I don't think so. Martinez can. Martinez is confident on the ball. He will go into space, and then he'll find that killer pass, which is what Eriksen and Casemiro have been doing. So he did that role. He's more than a defender. He's more than a centre back. He can go into midfield and he orchestrates, and that's why the game turned for us.
Right. Louis, do you agree with what Vim said?
No, I mean, look, he's absolutely spot on. I think that trying to build out of the back under Maguire is, I mean, it's clear how many balls he gave away to midfield, how many balls he kicked directly to wingers. And it was literally about 45 seconds into the game. Whistle goes, we start playing, and we already have 2 long balls from De Gea. Within about a minute and a half that he plays over the top, and we lose them both. And I thought to myself, I was like, it's going to be that game. It's going to be that game of us trying to chip it over the top, trying to connect with Wakehorse, which we tried, but we failed massively. And it's this slow, long ball type of game because we don't trust Maguire to build out for us. We don't trust Fred to build out for us. And it's unfortunate, but again, Ten Hag he's exhausted so much of his options, over the last few months, that he has to get a little bit creative with it, bringing in Shaw as the left center back, paired with Maguire, and
that was a masterstroke, to be honest.
It was.
It's a way to keep Maguire.
I thought Lindelof would be used instead. Yeah,
but it's like it's a way to keep him on the bench. Oh, we need a left-sided defender. Sorry, you're not good enough. He could play him there, but he's got a formula that he wants to stick to, which is a good excuse. Maguire, sorry, you need to develop a left foot. Otherwise, you're sitting on the bench.
100%.
Right. So as the game progressed, the guy kept us in the game. Those changes were fundamental for that game. As the game turned, Martinez and Garnacho. I was going to ask this, both of you. How did you think Sancho played today, Vim?
He does look a lot happier. It's nice to see him smiling. It's nice to see him take on players. So whatever he did in Netherlands, I think it's worked. It's great to see him back because he looked really worried and troubled before he was sent
Shipped
away,
out.
and Garnacho coming in
Repackaged.
repackaged. So he's gone off to the factory and been reprogrammed, whatever he's done. But it's
Like
worked.
Defective toy.
Yes. Back to Netherlands.
Today there's definitely a confidence on the ball that has been missing since the Dortmund days, right? He's trying to take players on. There was one moment where basically the defender is in between him and the goal, and he actually goes like backwards and around him to try to go forward. It was a nice little move, a quick change of pace, and then he's in behind. And I mean, that's what you want to see from a Sancho. You want to see him be creative. You want to see him, taking those fullbacks on, drawing the center back, maybe clipping a ball in, those kinds of things. He still needs, still not there 100%. Had a nice goal in the last game. He's still trying to find, I think, his form. But yeah, definitely his time off during the World Cup, it looks like there was a lot of reflection there. A lot of going back to basics. And he had an okay game today. Definitely. I do think taking him off, I think was the right decision ultimately. Because look, he's still not 100%. He still can't go 90 minutes. So you kind of figured that was going to happen at some point. But he didn't get taken off because he was performing badly or underperforming.
No. He made an impact, and obviously Garnacho made an impact. And I'm glad that we've got competition on the left-hand side. Very fantastic players. The thing is with Sancho is that we bought him because of his trickery, because of his skills. So he should just go back to doing what he does best, which is, you've got to find that confidence, find that swagger, and just carry on doing it. Because when you do that, it works. Everyone has a style of play 100%. That you're comfortable with. Go back to that style of play. Obviously you've got to develop and learn other things, but sometimes when you go back to the basics that that you're most comfortable with, your style of play, then you just tend to do it best. And I think that's what he needs to get to. I don't know what you guys coach, Louis, but people have a mode or a style of playing, don't they? And they kind of, it almost becomes muscle memory. Like it's sometimes you do certain things. You distribute the ball in a certain way. You defend a certain way. And people, when they have their best games, they develop a style. And I think Sancho's style, whatever it is, he needs to go back to that and find that form that he had in Dortmund. The reason why he was snapped up by all these clubs.
Exactly.
And
Garnacho, he's very attack-minded. He wants to go straight at the goal. Wants to take on players. That's him. That's his mode. That's his style of play. Same with Anthony.
Yeah.
Maguire and Fred, I'm not sure what their style is. I haven't figured it out yet.
One's a Brazilian, one's an Englishman.
Right. I will say this about Fred, man. In defense of the happy guy. And I was telling Tim this before you jumped on. The reason we were 0-0 at halftime was because of Fred. He offered us nothing going forward, but defensively, he was lights out. Multiple tackles, winning the ball. It just sucks that technically, going forward, he is complete crap. Like, technically, he cannot string together 2 passes, and it's a shame. But absolute workhorse for us in the midfield for the first 60 minutes. Every minute that he's on, he gives you everything he possibly can. Unfortunately, everything that he possibly can just isn't that great.
But he's overcompensating, isn't he? He knows that he's not skilled in the technical department.
The way to stay in the first team is like, if you can't do these things technically, if you can't take on players 1v1, if you can't get perfect pinpoint passes into the box, at least you can. You know what I mean? And it's something like, not in the Ten Hag era, but prior to the Ten Hag era, we had a bunch of players that didn't want to do the work. So that's why he gets to stick around, is because
he's become that workhorse that we've always needed. He's like the Park Ji-sung of our current team.
Yes.
And credit to him, he puts in a good shift. I've seen him foaming at the end of the game. Like literally, mouth is so dry, he looks completely dead. He's given his everything. But he does worry me that even a short pass on the pitch, he can't make it.
Yeah,
he just seems to lose his composure. He just. At elite level football, you can make a pass to a player quite easily. You should be able to.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. Louis, I'm sure you can. I can. Tim, I know you can. Yeah. I don't know why Fred can't do that.
It's weird. I mean, isn't that what they would teach us? Basically, just how to pass with your side foot.
Yeah.
I don't know. You do wonder. Like, and he played for Brazil. You're like, really?
He's not Brazilian. Come on.
He's from. Someone said he's from Angola. Right. Someone said I should ask you guys a question. Ask the chat. Is Rashford ready to be receive a Ballon d'Or this season? First, I'll go to Louis. His current form now, is he at the Ballon d'Or level?
I was just listening to an argument about this, and this season maybe no. If he keeps his consistency through next season, there's no reason that he can't win one. Right. Especially if we're in the Champions League, right? If we're in the Champions League and he can score Champions League goals the way he's scoring goals right now, absolutely he should be a contender. The Messi, Ronaldo era of exchanging Ballon d'Ors back and forth it's at an end, right? So there's competition there again. Right. I'm not saying that he's at that level, but I'm just saying that they're not there anymore, right? So with time, I think as a Europa League player, it's just freaking impossible to get in there. Right. I think you have to be in the Champions League. I think you have to be consistent. I think you have to be that constant threat. However, if things keep progressing the way they are under Ten Hag, I think if he remains happy and of course if he gets his contract extension figured out, there's no reason that next season he can't be a Ballon d'Or contender, if not a winner. Yeah,
right.
100%.
Bim,
definitely
Ballon d'Or level yet?
I guess. I mean, I potentially, yeah. I mean, it could be a nominee. I can't see him winning it right now because I think the way they, the criteria for this is, it's all about the figures and what you contribute to the team and the competitions that you're in, right. And you've got to be in the top level competitions to be considered. We're not at that level yet. Obviously, we should be next year. He has done something, or Ten Hag has done something in him to unleash the beast in him. Right. So it's nice to see that, because we saw a Rashford that looked.
He scored really 5 goals motivated. All of last season.
I mean, on under the Oli regime, it was just all going backwards, and you could see on him that he was so unhappy.
Yes.
And so was the whole team. But he could see on him, he wears his heart on his sleeve almost. He looked depressed. He was looking down. He looked like he was ready to leave the club. So, if this is Ten Hag or if it's him going to USA, Nike, and working on himself, psychological way and in physical way, and do some training, whatever he's done the right thing, and I'm glad for him. But we've got to be in the Champions League. We've got to be contenders, and we've got to be winning the Premier League. And at that point, I think he's a contender for the Ballon d'Or.
Right, because it also leads to the contribution of your team, what you contribute to your team, and what the output. Because someone after the game, because they told me to ask you guys in the chat if we have a show today. Then after the game today in the pub, we were arguing about, is he at Mbappe's level yet this season?
Oh,
Louis.
No. I'm sorry, Mbappe is a monster. And as much as I was rooting against France in that World Cup final, he's an absolute beast. Technically, physically, he's hard to match right now. Mbappe. Can Marcus Rashford get there? It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. I think he still has to. He has to accept the role as the leader of Manchester United, and in that he has not done that yet. But potentially, maybe, to compare the two, I think he's still pretty far off.
Right, Vim, do you agree? Is he closer to Mbappe now, or is?
I mean, closer now than he was, but. Yeah.
Rashford's development has been somewhat different. When he first broke onto the scene, he was taking on players. He was going past them.
Yes.
He had that trickery. He doesn't seem to have that anymore. He doesn't seem to be able to take on players. I've seen him try to do it, but he doesn't have what Mbappe has. Whereas you face him one-on-one, Mbappe's going past you all the time. He just, drop of a shoulder, shift to left, shift to right, bang, he's gone. Rashford can't seem to do that. Rashford has become more of a potent striker. He's got a deadly shot, and he can shoot with both feet, and is now contributing with his head as well in terms of headers. So as a striker, he's developed. As an Mbappe type character, where you put him on those flanks and take players on constantly, getting behind them, going to the byline, he can't do that. There's a different type of player. I think Mbappe's developed at a much faster rate.
He's taken over a more physical role where he's like the defender's on his shoulder. He's receiving the ball, holding off the player, and he's able to kind of turn and make decisions and that kind of thing. He's not receiving the ball 6-7 yards off that defender and then trying to charge at him anymore. And I mean, and he's bulked up in that regard as well. Like physically bulked up, he's gotten bigger. So I think he's trying to go for more of that route.
Right.
You give him the space on the pitch, and you know, you give him a sight on goal, he'll go for it. He's got pace, he's got fitness, and he's got the speed. But if he has to go and dribble through players, he can't do that.
Right. Workhorst. How do you guys rate him? I mean, today's game. What did you guys think of Workhorst today? He did. I felt unhappy when his goal was cancelled out. I really wanted him to get that goal that was cancelled out. You could see his face just.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Look, he is an average footballer who is not up to the Manchester United standards. I think he was. Look, I don't know what the plan was, honestly, bringing him in. I think it was we needed a striker. Martial got hurt near the end of the window again, and we had to find someone. So we got someone who was Dutch, who was big, who we thought would have a physical presence. But you turn around and you don't play to that player's strengths. And then, you know, and then he's kind of useless for you. Yeah, sure, he presses high. He tries to go win the ball, but he's not actually winning those balls. Sure, he's in the center back's face, he's in the goalkeeper's face, but he's not taking the ball off their feet. Today, especially early on, because Leeds were playing so high, we're playing long balls and we're trying to find him. And he's not winning balls in the air, or if he's getting a head onto it, it doesn't go to anybody. You know, it goes straight up, or it goes back over his shoulder, and he doesn't fit. Either he doesn't fit to our system, or we're not playing towards his. Either way, he has such a little impact. You know, it's you would rather just see us play Rashford up the middle. And then stick an Anthony Sancho, a Garnacho Anthony, Garnacho Sancho. Like there's a few different starting threes you can go with up there, and just Workhorst. Like, and again, he's new. He's still trying to find his place in that. So you want to give him time, but at the same time, if we're not playing him the ball, what's the point?
Right, Vim.
Yeah, I feel quite sorry for him because, you know, I know he does put in the effort. You know, he's got a good work rate. I remember.
No, I'm just kidding.
Harry Potter.
He puts in a shift. He does put in a shift.
He puts in a shift. You know, the guy stopped Leeds from scoring. He was literally between the sticks of our goal, and he stopped the goal. The guy is always dropping deep. He does what Harry Kane done. He drops deep into midfield. And I think in the second half, he was deployed slightly differently to play behind Rashford and almost provide him service. He gets a lot of criticism, and I can see why. Yes. And, you know, Louis, what you said is quite valid. You know, he's more of a hold-up type of striker. He's not the striker that's going to bang in loads of goals. He doesn't have the pace. He's got quite a big frame. He's a very slow and lanky character, albeit he's faster than Maguire though. But I mean, with his presence, he should be overarching all of the other players there, winning that ball all the time. And he's going for it. He's trying to get in that box when the cross is coming. I saw Rashford's goal. He was just a few yards next to Rashford, and you know, he just landed on Rashford's head. Effort-wise, yes, he's great. He's a short-term fix. We didn't have a striker. You know, at least I'm glad we got him on loan. You know, we've got to try before we buy, and obviously we're not going to buy. But I want him to start scoring because I think his confidence is a little bit low.
Yes.
And I think that's also affecting his game. You can see he looks a little bit worried that, you know, he's not hit the ground running. He's not got that many goals. I think he's only scored one for us, right? So far.
Yeah,
So I think it's
1 assist today, right?
yeah, 1 assist. I mean, the assist was good, you know, as well. He was playing a very deep, almost like a he was playing in the number 10 position when he distributed that ball.
Right.
He
Yeah.
really
And
does
that was a
drop in
good move
deep.
by Ten Hag as well.
Yeah. So I think his confidence is a bit low, and I hope that he does get a few goals in and he leaves Man United feeling a little bit fulfilled.
Do
I think
United
you're
need?
absolutely
Go on.
right, though. For him to be successful, he's best with his hold-up play, but we don't play him defeat. We don't play him on the ground. We play him aerial balls. We expect him to use his size,
Yeah.
get his head onto it. But if he's dropping deep, then that ball doesn't make much sense. Now, if we want him to feel comfortable and to play his own way, we have to play to his strengths. We have to play him in defeat. We have to open up space for him, and we don't do that. It's unfortunate.
I guess Ten Hag has to have a discussion with him. Look,
Yeah.
you know, from these previous clubs, what's the best way to deploy you? You know, because I know that he's not that keen on scoring with his head, even though he can. He's got a big frame. Is he a hold-up player? What does he want? You know, we've got to start playing to what he needs and what he's comfortable with, his style of play. So Ten Hag needs to have that conversation with him and deploy him. Or Ten Hag is stubborn and he wants to play his system his way.
So I feel the ball, we're not putting enough. I mean, okay, 6 for 6. What we all thought was, if things are not going on the ground, put the ball in there in the box, he'll be on the headers. But we're not even doing that. It's the wing backs who are putting the ball in. Luke Shaw and Dalot who are crossing. Sancho and Garnacho, they
don't cross.
And Anthony, they don't cross. I mean, hopefully they'll start crossing, but you know what I mean? And I'm thinking, I feel for the guy. I was so happy he scored, but when they disallowed, like, oh God, poor guy. Can't even catch a wind. You know?
What I've noticed is that we only have one crosser with accuracy. You know who that is, right?
Luke Shaw.
Yeah. No, Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's the only one that can put the ball in someone's head.
Yeah.
And he just tends to find Rashford.
Him and Telles last season.
Telles is a beautiful crosser.
All the Ronaldo headers were from from the left side.
From Telles.
Shaw and Telles.
Yeah.
You know?
But Luke Shaw does have that ability. You know, he's not super fast going forward anymore. He's a little, you know, they call him Chunky Luke or whatever. But he's got accuracy with crossing. He likes a lot of chocolate cake, doesn't he, or something?
Chocolate puddings.
Chocolate pudding. Yeah, but he's the only crosser we have.
Yeah.
We don't have any, and I don't know why we're not developing more. Why don't we
know why.
Why don't we have crossing, you know, training or something like that? I don't understand.
Is it that hard to cross a ball, honestly? We all know how to cross a ball.
In that league, it's not easy.
I know. I mean, you're closed down quick. I get it. But as a winger, isn't that the job to get past the man, make that space, even if it's 2 yards, to whip the ball in?
It depends on the kind of winger, though, isn't it? Because if you have an inverted winger, then his crossing foot, that's, you know, it's on his opposite side. So he wants to cut in and try to go to goal. Where I think we make the mistake, though, is those players, those inverted wingers, once they cut in, they don't try to find the balls. They don't try to find the crosses on the ground. That I think inverted wingers is what's so expected of them. And when you have those players that are inverted wingers that can take on the fullbacks, what you're trying to do is draw out the center backs so you can play that ground cross.
Right.
And or have a shot. So we do that a few times, and I mean the expectation is that, okay, now that the defense is expecting that, okay, maybe they hold up a little bit, maybe they don't track. So now you put in the overhead cross. But I feel like we're so unsuccessful in that regard, in the attack from those wings. When we score, again, it's usually a cross from a little bit further back, from a little shot, from the top of the box. It's not in the side of the box. When we cut in, it's usually on a counter, so it's a little bit more central. Those players are taking on center backs; they're not taking on fullbacks.
Right.
So exactly. that tool is just not. I mean, we don't create it, right? So it's a conversation about style, but it's also a conversation for, okay, when Rashford's not on the wing, or when we have to play Garnacho and these kinds of things, or when we have to play Wout Weghorst, how does our style adapt to fit those players? And right now we don't adapt. We just try to play the same way. And so we don't see those chances that we want to see.
So do we think, okay, there's still a few more games, there's still a lot of games to play, mate. There's still a lot of games to play. I hope for some way, somehow, we will adapt a way to get him more involved in the game. Yes, he holds up play, he links players up, but can we get some crosses in the box? Can we at least put some balls in there? Because
the thing is,
that Rashford header, he should have been there. He should have been that one where that
he was there. He was right next to him.
Right.
Yeah. It was literally a meter and a half away.
I thought the 10 role fit him well, honestly. He did as the 10, he did all right.
Yeah. The thing is, I've noticed as well, and not in this game so much, but he does occupy the defenders, and he does make the runs to pull defenders away to then create space for the attackers.
Right.
So he's contributing all the time. He's just not getting the thing we want, which is the goals, but he's doing a lot of off the ball work. Right. I think his off the ball work is fantastic.
Right.
And I don't think he gets the praise for that.
All right, let me welcome Kay from UK. Kay, meet Louis today. Louis from Houston Red Army, now moved to Denver, Colorado, so he's a Colorado person now.
So you have to call it the Denver Red Army, isn't it?
He's now Denver Red.
I will say real quick shout out to Carlos of Denver Reds for gifting me my first Denver Red scarf. You're a legend, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Good job. So Kay's in UK with Vim. Yeah, so Louis normally works with me during the midweek for the midweek shows. So today he made his debut on the weekend shows.
I'm loving it so far. I like it when we have more people. The conversation is, it's a little bit more.
Well, we've had some rowdy houses. These guys will tell you we've had some rowdy houses, and we will wish I wish it was, because it's harder to moderate because everyone's talking over it. Even my mom said, "Could you guys ever let one person finish talking?" I said, "Okay, Mama, I will address that."
I think we had quite a hot debate last week.
It's like ESPN, man. No one tells Stephen Smith to stop talking over people.
So yeah, Kay, welcome to the show.
You're right.
I'm all right, mate. United got 3 points, 2 goals, 3 points. You saw the lineup, Maguire. What was your take? Quickly summarize what you thought about this game, and yeah,
it's always tough to go to Leeds. We knew it was going to be hostile from the lineup. You could tell he's thinking about injuries. The Barcelona game, he normally goes with the strongest team, but the fact that he didn't play Martinez, who was already on the ban anyway, he can't play in the first leg. I think he's thinking about injuries, keeping people fresh. Maguire, when I saw that, I was like, oh no, I would have rather have Lindelof, but yeah, it is what it is. You got to use your squad. It's a scrappy performance, but we got the win. Sometimes you got to win games by any means necessary, and we got a clean sheet, so it was a positive. Although, it was a bit nerve-wracking. At one point, I just thought, "Oh, this has got."
They were piling on corner kicks after corner kick.
Yeah,
Leeds.
But yeah, they're aggressive. They're very aggressive. They get stuck in, and it was. They're looking like a better team, to be honest. But yeah, Rashford popped up again. Like someone was just saying, no, Weghorst, he puts himself about. He gets a lot of bad press. I think as United fans, we always seem to scapegoat someone. Like he was playing in Turkey for a reason. So I don't know what people were expecting.
Hey, that's a scrappy league, man.
That league is not tough. It's not easy, bro. That is very vicious place.
Yeah.
Those guys they're ruthless.
Sorry, pause. Are you wearing a Barcelona shirt?
No, do you know what it is?
No, kick him out, Tim. Kick him out.
It says Brentford. I used to play for Sunday League.
It says Brentford. It says FCB.
It's kind of dark. I couldn't see.
Tim, we have a mole here for Thursday's game.
It's what's it say?
All right, my bad. I accused you without knowing the facts.
Football Club Brentford. Right. So okay. The question that I quickly asked them was some of the fans asked the people on today's chat: is Rashford a contender for Ballon d'Or this season?
Nah, you got to be playing in Champions League. Right? You got to be playing in the top. Yeah, Ballon. He's doing well. If he was playing in a title contending team and playing Champions League, then maybe. But Yeah, you're not going to get Ballon d'Or just for scoring a lot of goals in the Prem. And no, if you win the League Cup, like no, who's won the League Cup and got Ballon d'Or? Yeah, I don't see it happening personally. But
any
I'm
FA Cup? Have any FA Cup winners won a Ballon d'Or?
Yeah, I think you have to win
Carabao
the
Cup.
league, the league or the Champions League minimum. Yeah,
It's true, actually. If you think about it, most of the Ballon d'Or winners are Champions League. Actually,
Yeah.
I just realized it.
It's winning domestic league, Champions League, and World Cup.
Yeah.
Then you're a nominee.
You know?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, you know, you have to be at least a contender for a champion of Europe if you want to be the best player in Europe.
That's true, actually.
Yeah, so
not Europa League.
Not playing at the highest level. Now, if he continues this form for another season, we get top 4, we go into Champions League, and he's banging goals.
What's that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
You know, put him on the list. You know.
Right. I mean, you're right. I mean, actually, I mean, before Ronaldo won it in 2008, the only people who had won it was Bobby Charlton and Dennis Law in 1960 something. That was the last time. And Beckham was close in 2000 and can't remember now. He came 2nd or 3rd. That was after that. We've never really had players win it. The gap from 1967 to 2008 is over 40 years, mate. And I don't know when the next one is coming. I don't know if like you said, if Rashford can consistently play this and we go into Champions League, yeah, he might be a contender. And the last question, okay, is he at Mbappe's level now?
He's getting there, but you got to do it on the world stage. Mbappe's doing it in Champions League. He's doing it he was doing it at the World Cup. So I don't think you can. Rashford wasn't even playing in the World Cups, like starting. So I don't think you can even compare them yet. But if he carries on, like, people forget Mbappe's been doing this for a while. It's not like he had one season. People have been talking about Mbappe for a while, so I think he's got similarities, but he's got a long way to go to be put in the same category for me.
Okay, all right, good. Anyone? No, we got a big game on Thursday. That game is gonna be something else. I forgot. It's actually the Nou Camp first leg.
Yep.
Vim, where are your thoughts?
Is Martinez eligible to play then that game?
No,
Is
he's
he
suspended for that game.
How is he suspended? I thought it was Europa League.
You got a card.
Yeah, his card against Sociedad, I think that took him out.
Yeah.
Yes.
The penalty. Yeah. Was it the penalty incident? Did he get yellow for the penalty or not? I can't remember.
Yeah,
it was that game. I think it was that game.
So if he can't play, then I wonder why he was rested today. That's an odd one.
I don't want him to get injured, I don't think.
Because the sub was genius.
Oh, so him bringing him on as a sub.
So that means on Wednesday, are we playing Varane and Maguire or Varane and Lindelof?
Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw. What are you talking about?
No Maguire.
No.
So how hopeful are you, Vim?
Below and Malacia. That's your back 4, right?
Yeah.
I think he'll play Wan-Bissaka, you know.
Against Barcelona?
Yeah, he could. He could play. He could play Wan-Bissaka and go a little bit more defensive overall. Yeah. It's very possible. And Wan-Bissaka's had a good couple of games. Right. So yeah, definitely possible. But I hope he doesn't start Maguire. And if he does decide to start Maguire, it's fine. But can we just stop giving him the captain's ban already? Like, what is that about?
He's the. I mean, people are not listening
to earn that.
He is the official captain. He is the official captain.
Yeah. How is he the official captain? He's only played 3 games.
Now, at the start of the season, they announced
he was the official captain. Was not anymore. Now it's Bruno.
Yeah, but in England, once they give you the captaincy, they can't unless they strip you. Then whenever you come on the pitch, they're meant to give you the captain's armband.
If you come on the pitch and they boo you, you are no longer the captain. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's a bit harsh, mate. So
he's good. He's good with his air traffic control, isn't he? Do you remember? He's good at like.
He's always.
Yeah. This way. Yeah. The thing is, you know, we know that he was a problem for this club. And him being the club captain prior to Erik ten Hag joining, I guess you don't want to upset him too much.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not going to play you, but I'll give you the captaincy. You can do that. You can be the proxy captain. But really, the captain is Bruno.
Right.
I don't know what Ten Hag is doing. I know he's up to something. I think he's trying to play him now and then, show him that, oh, he's still a great player in England, and everyone rates him highly. Come and buy him for us, please. Offer some money for him. And I think he parades him. Yeah, Newcastle and others. He parades him around saying, oh, yeah, look, he's still a big, strong centre-back. But I think he's looking for offers now. And apparently he is on the list to be sold. So you've got to still parade him, You've got to still put him in the shop window.
The shop window. So, Vim, I was going to ask you, Vim, I'm going to ask everyone, how confident are you on Thursday? They are the La Liga leaders currently, Barcelona.
Yeah. The thing is that whenever we play Barcelona, they pass you to death. It's that tiki-taka football where they're just pass. They
don't do as they used to when they had Iniesta, Xavi. They'll just bore you to death and tire you out.
It's like the death. Remember we had a show, Death of a Thousand Cuts, and I predicted that we're going to get mutilated through being passed to death. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
I think they had 900 passes compared to our 300. If they do that, and they're very capable of doing that, then it's going to be a very tiring day. We need our fastest players on the pitch. We need composed players. We need players who can hold the ball. Right. Fred is not going to be, I don't think he's suitable for this game, because as soon as he gets the ball, he just gives it back to the opposition. Maguire, you saw him do that today. So we're going to have our most technically gifted players on the pitch and do the best we can. I mean, I haven't watched much of Barcelona this season, but if they're top of the table, they're obviously doing quite well. And they've got some real superstars coming through in Gavi and a few others. And De Jong apparently is in superb form.
Yeah.
So it'll be a tough game. It'll be interesting to watch.
Louis, how hopeful are you?
And you know me, man. I'm always skeptically optimistic, man. I'm not sure how you adjust. There's been a lot of speculation about who you put in the 6 role. Do you go with a double pivot? Do you go with a single pivot? If you go with a single pivot, do you put Lindelof there? How do you form it to fit? And I think putting Lindelof there, I think, is not a terrible idea, especially if he drops in between the center backs and we just go more defensive overall and we try to get out of Spain with a 0-0 or maybe a 1-0 if we can bag a win. It's going to be a lot more conservative, I think, than what we've seen over the last few weeks, and what it's going to be a little bit different than what we've come to expect of Ten Hag, which is high possession, 70%, possession. Barcelona are going to have the majority of the ball. We're probably going to look to counter. We're definitely going to need our fastest players. You have to play it right, man. On the flip side of that, you have 3 games between now and the cup final. And how much do you prepare for that? How much do you reserve for that? So it's not going to be easy. It's going to be very, very tough going to Spain.
Okay. How hopeful are you in the new camp on Thursday?
I think we can nick a draw, if not a win. I think they're playing at the minute, Barcelona, actually. I think they're 1-0 up against Villarreal, but I think the injury to Dembele, Busquets, I think they're missing someone else as well, as it's come at the right time. So I think we will go there with a keep it tight and try and nick a win. We're not going to be expansive there. We're going to let them have all the possession and hit them on the counter. So I think it's a dangerous game. I think a lot of people are expecting Barca to win it, but I think that game can go either way. The fact they dropped out of the Champions League, there's more pressure on them than there is on us, I suppose.
Yeah, that makes sense. Joe, welcome to the show. How are you, my brother?
Doing all right, fellas. Just doing some last minute errands for the Super Bowl, getting ready.
Right. I hear you. I see you. How hopeful are you for the game on Thursday?
To be honest, from what I saw today, not very hopeful, man. Because there's just certain things. Well, Casemiro's going to be playing that game, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Casemiro playing the game. Definitely Luke Shaw has to start at left back. clear difference in our attacking
Martinez
today.
is suspended.
Once we got moved over. Martinez is suspended?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be Luke Shaw, because I would imagine Luke Shaw, Varane, and then Malacia on the left, and then shoot, man, we might want to, you know, this might be the game to bring back Aaron Wan-Bissaka just to lock it down just a little bit. All right. You know, I wasn't too crazy about Dalot today.
He nearly scored. He nearly scored with that power driver.
Yeah, he did. He nearly almost scores a lot of times. So, you know, let's go for executions, right? Not tries. So it's a 50-50 toss-up. We still have trouble with our forwards with scoring. So I haven't been watching Barcelona this season. I don't know how strong they are defensively.
They're leading La Liga. They're leading the table.
I mean, you know, it's La Liga, so I don't know how many goals have they conceded. You know, I mean, you know what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah.
5-team league tops, you know. So we'll just leave that at that.
They've conceded 7. They've only conceded 7
all season in the La Liga.
42 goals for, 7 against.
Damn. That is a solid defense, bro.
That's going to be a problem for us who struggle to score a lot of goals, you know, and a team that doesn't concede a lot of goals, you know, it's going to be a struggle, you know, and they're even more dangerous because they can sit back and protect their line, and they can hit us on the counter real quick. I understand that counter has been stifled a little bit with the injuries of Dembele and all. That's really nice. The idea of Dembele, I love Malacia, but I don't want to see somebody like Dembele going up against him. You know,
he's injured.
Luke Shaw, yeah. Right. You said Dembele is injured, right?
But Dembele and Busquets.
Yeah. Okay. We might be able to nick a point out of it. You know,
a point, not free.
Without Eriksen there, like I need to see more from Marcellus. Though today I wasn't too crazy about a majority. Like he had some good spots and all, but today I wasn't really too impressed. I don't know if it was the tactics of Ten Hag. For whatever reason, I just felt like he was hiding a bit between their front line over at with Leeds. Like Leeds were, you know, they were cutting off the passing lanes and everything, but he wasn't really trying to get to the ball. Nobody was trying to give the ball to Fred, and Bruno is damn near next to, you know, Rashford. You know how he do. So, you know, I need to see more from him. But if we can get a tie out of the Camp Nou, I think that'll be a good day, good business.
Right, because you know UEFA have removed the goal difference and 2 away goals rule. They've removed all that, so we have to get a result and finish. If we get a result at Nou Camp, we got to finish the job at Old Trafford. There's no other way around it. That is just it. There's no free. It's knockout, straight knockout. That is what it is. You know?
I would prefer we took care. I would prefer we took care of it on this first game, so that you know, because they're gonna be coming at us, right? If we nick like a 1-0 win, that'll be excellent because it'll feed right into our hands because we're a strong counter.
We lost him.
Oh, we lost him. This is why you don't drive while you're on your phone, children. Take note. You know?
You're so cheeky, Louis.
Which is a crime in the state of Texas.
What happened?
No, so, you froze. You froze.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, to all the young soccer as we like it supporters. Don't do what Joe is doing.
Louis,
put the phone away when you're driving.
Any questions, anyone? Anyone got questions?
So, obviously, there is a wish list of players that we need to remove from this club because they're just not to the standard.
Right.
Obviously, Maguire is definitely one of them. I would say McTominay Anyone else on that wish list that you think we need to part ways with and replace
Phil
with
Jones.
Phil Jones?
Phil Jones.
He's doing a good job, isn't he, in the nursing home?
Yeah.
One day he'll get moved
We have a
on.
lot of players like that, don't we? That draw salary from Manchester United, but don't offer us anything. We're still paying part of Talas's salary. You know, we're paying for Tuan-Sebe. We're paying for all these players that don't offer.
Yeah.
So Donnie is one. Like I like Donnie, but I mean he doesn't offer us anything. He's not playing games. He's always injured.
I don't think it's time yet.
So like he has to go. I think McTominay has to go. I really like Fred. I think if you have a strong replacement, you can get rid of him. If you don't have a replacement lined up, then you probably keep him. Who else? Jesus, the list goes on.
So you've mentioned Teles, you've mentioned Bailly, you've mentioned Tuan-Sebe, you've mentioned McTominay, you've mentioned Maguire. That's 5.
And Jones.
And Jones 6.
And Van de Beek.
And
Van de Beek, that's 7. Wow.
I wouldn't get rid of Van de Beek yet.
I don't think they'll get rid of Van de Beek this season.
I don't think he's going to make it.
He's not even going to be fit by the start of next season. So you're not going to sell a player that's just come back from an injury.
He doesn't seem to offer enough in midfield. He doesn't have that range of passing. I've noticed he's a player that likes to stay close to you and does a lot of one-touch passing, but he hasn't got a long-range pass. I've noticed. And it's the thing, he can't transition very quickly like Eriksen or Bruno can. And I think that's why he gets, he's second fiddle to those guys. I think he really needs to change his game up a little bit. Otherwise, I don't think he's going to last at Man U.
Right.
I think
you guys talking about Donnie?
Probably on that list as well.
Who's that, sorry?
I said I think Martial is probably also on that list as well.
Anthony Martial.
We're a new striker, and we're probably we're looking to unload him as soon as we possibly can. And honestly, if he went to a Marseille or a Lyon or somewhere in France, I think he would do well, and I think it would be good for us, and I think it would be good for him.
So would you keep Weghorst and get rid of Martial, or would you keep Martial and get rid of Weghorst?
No, we get rid of fucking both of them and buy someone competent.
Well, I think we still need an option. I still think we need one of them to stay.
No, you buy a new player. Get rid of both of them, and let Rashford run your number 9 and say that's our starter. That's what you do.
I think we need at least 3 strikers. I think we need 3 solid strikers.
Yeah, possibly.
But we almost have a system where you don't need a striker. You can have a false 9. It looks like the system could work that way.
Yeah, but in the Champions League, though, you ain't going to get away with that.
I mean, look at the teams like Pep has built. He's built it without a striker.
Yeah,
and Ten Hag comes from the same school of thought. No, but they all come from the same school of thought. The Cruyff style of football where you can play with a false 9.
And he's never won the Champions League without false 9 at the moment. When he won it with Barca, he had players that were elite. You had was it Suarez there when he was?
No. He had Xavi, Iniesta, Messi.
Who's the other guy? What's his name? I can't remember his name.
Where did he play?
Was it David Villa?
David Villa. Yes.
Yeah,
he scored against us at Wembley. I think he did.
Yeah, I remember that.
But
I mean, that decent strikers are very expensive. And at the moment, until we get some billionaire owners in, we don't have the cash to buy one.
Well, I mean, plus you have to remember Mason Greenwood's coming back. So,
well, is he? That's something we talked about last week. Actually, did you watch the show last week?
Come on, bro.
Lively debate.
Come on, man.
Me and Tim talked about it.
I'm not doing this with you, Louis. I'm not doing this with you, Louis. That dude is not coming back.
Louis, do you want him back?
I wouldn't be mad.
Okay, Louis.
Joel will be mad.
Bro, yo.
Man, before he was skipping training sessions and showing up late to meetings, Mads was scoring goals. He was scoring hella goals. Now, did he screw up in a really, really big way? Allegedly. Allegedly, he screwed up in a really, really big way.
You heard the tape. The tape exists.
Hey,
you heard the tape.
Hey, the government said you're guilty, bruv.
It was a domestic dispute.
It was a domestic
It was a
dispute.
domestic dispute. Everyone
A
has them.
violent one.
Exactly. Everybody's got one. Everybody.
Yeah.
No, I ain't got no tapes like that out. Don't put that on me. I ain't got no tapes like that out. Me looking crazy out there. Nah, man.
Look, man, and he just to wrap up the point, right? So we can move on. But it was something that me and Tim talked about. Is what you have these young footballers who are given exorbitant amounts of money and then are not looked after, not cared after, not nurtured, and left to their own devices. That's how these situations happen. Is it right? 100% not. Does it absolve him of any wrongdoing? Of course it does not. However, if the club does their investigation and decides that they're okay with bringing him back into the club and decide that, yeah, okay, we can get back the sponsors and we can do whatever, and this can be in the past, I'm 100% okay with the club making that decision, if that's the decision that the club make, and if they give a proper investigation, proper time, proper money, proper effort. If they do all those things and he comes back, I'm not mad about it, not at all.
Do you think he might get some?
I have a lot of different thoughts when it comes to athletes of color and the way that they're treated, but that's a whole nother conversation. All I will say is if we do a proper investigation and it's decided that he can come back, I think he's going to score goals for us. And that's where I'll leave it right there.
Right. Oh, Kenneth, welcome to the show. Let me introduce you to Louis. Louis is Houston Red Army, but now in Denver Red Army. He's also a soccer coach and a director of an academy in Colorado. Ben, you know Louis. And yes, everyone.
What up, my man?
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, what's up, Louis? How you doing, man?
Yeah,
Good,
this is
man.
Louis' first time on
Louis
the weekend show. Louis normally does the midweek.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah,
quickly,
good.
let me kind of summarize today. How did you feel about today's performance quickly from United?
Yeah, sorry guys, you got to bear with me. I've got sore throat, but it wasn't a great performance, but we won. I guess that's the main thing that matters at this
100%.
stage of the season. ETH, man. I mean, those subs were just on point. Bringing in Martinez. I don't know if you guys realized there was a lot of passing around the back line. Maguire was just basically snail pace, gets the ball, passes it back to De Gea, and that's how, that's how Leeds actually capitalized in the first game on Thursday. We were busy faffing around in the defense, and they put us under pressure, got the ball, bang, go. And I'm surprised, we're very fortunate that it didn't happen again. But yeah, bringing on Martinez, was, he has that capability to pass the ball forward.
Yes.
When we signed Maguire, I thought he could actually pass the ball, but he can't. Like, having seen Martinez and Varane play for a considerable amount of time, I can see that Maguire can't actually pass the ball. All he does is that long diagonal pass to the left, and it almost cost us a few goals today.
Louis said,
yeah.
Long, beautiful,
so obvious as
long,
well.
beautiful diagonal ball straight to the feet of a Leeds player.
Exactly. It's like he looks at the guy, he's like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Okay, I'm gonna do it now. And all the Leeds players are already there waiting to head it out. And then he does it. Or it's too short. So bringing Martinez and also Garnacho as well, great sub. I don't think Sancho, when the game is too physical, it's not for him. He's not physical. He can't cope with that physicality. He's one of those players that, you give him time, he'll hurt you. That's something he needs to develop. But yeah, great win. We move on to Barcelona and Leicester. And with Arsenal dropping points, and Newcastle as well. It's been a great weekend for us.
Right. Quickly summarize today's performance. We watched it together at the bar.
Yeah, man. For a good 70 minutes, it was terrible from United. I mean, Maguire, that guy's terrible. Yeah, he has to go quickly. I can't wait for the summer for the guy to be sold. or I don't know whatever we do with him. But yeah, you could tell. I second a lot of what Ken said. He was one of the big reasons why we invited a lot of pressure onto us. Yes, passing was terrible. We just couldn't get the ball forward at all. Like the first half, we just couldn't get the ball forward. It was terrible. And then even for the half of that second half was still terrible. I was expecting us to concede at some point, but Ten Hag makes the change. He brings Martinez on, brings Garnacho on. Immediately the game changes. Martinez just changes. Martinez changes that whole game. And then we started to get the ball forward quickly, create more chances, and then we isn't too nice. I mean, Rashford, that guy's on fire. You can't stop him. He's on something. And Garnacho, fans were giving him hell last week, calling him all sorts of names. This guy's a young kid, man. He's gonna have ups and downs. And the guy's a talent, man. We need to get behind him. But I mean, I gotta give it to Ten Hag, man. Ten Hag that guy's wonderful, man. He knows how to make changes, make the subs and do those tactical tweaks during the game to change the game. He brought Weghorst deep. He brought Weghorst to play 10. That changed the game too. Even though a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, Weghorst should be taken off," he's brought him back to is in play 10. Took Bruno to the right wing, Rashford up top, Garnacho play left. That game just changed. It was the tactical switch and the subs. I got to give it to Ten Hag, man. Like I said, I got to give it to that guy. That guy is a genius. If you back him properly, give him the right players, he will win the league in a couple of years, guaranteed. I have confidence in him so far. So yeah.
Thank you very much, Ken. How hopeful are you for the Barcelona game on Thursday without Martinez, who will be suspended?
I'm quietly confident because Casemiro's back, right, for that game.
Yes.
So Casemiro, I think it depends
at the new camp.
Yes, it depends on what ETH wants to do. But Casemiro's played there, so I know it's not a one-man team. Football's not a one-man sport, but he's played the multitude of times.
Many times.
Yeah, he knows how Barca plays. He's fresh. You know, he hasn't played since the Crystal Palace game, so he should come in fresh there. I don't know if obviously I'm thinking that maybe we should go with 3 in midfield, with Sabitzer, Fred and Casemiro in midfield, just to make sure we don't concede any stupid goals. However, if ETH wants to go with 2, Fred and Casemiro would work as well. You know, so I think if we can keep it tight, nick a goal, and then bring them back to Old Trafford, would be good.
So you don't have Bruno playing in that 3.
Sorry?
I said you don't have Bruno playing in that 2 or in that 3.
No, so I'll stick Bruno on the right because ETH's been doing that anyway.
Okay.
So put him on the right. He plays well in the right. I'll play him on the right.
And I've got a question for you based on last week's show. Do you still think it's a blessing in disguise that Casemiro was sent off?
Looking at what's happened now, yes. I said
you
7 points. Yeah, I said 7 points, right? We're on track to achieve that. So I was actually hoping for a reverse. So we beat them at Old Trafford, get a draw here.
I think we really struggled without him. Right. We really struggled without him.
Of course we do, but you can't play every single game, you know, and you don't want him getting injured. You know,
you could play him for the first 40 minutes or whatever, just get the game under control and then let Sabitzer take over. But you can see that without that CDM position, we really struggled.
Right. Ben,
anyway,
summarize. Okay, thank you, Ken. Ben, summarize what you expect from us on Thursday against Barcelona Nou Camp. What are your expectations?
I would say definitely Casemiro is going to come back in. When I think back to the way we perform against Spanish teams, right? We don't perform well against teams in La Liga. We don't perform well. And the reason why we don't perform well is we don't hold the ball. We can't hold the ball playing against. They just pass through us easily. So for us to have a chance, we need ball playing like we need ball playing like players on the field. We need players that can keep the ball as much as possible to have a chance. I know Ken mentioned Fred in there. Fred, I mean, my fear with Fred is not one of those that can really hold the ball really per se. He's a presser. So that's it's kind of tricky for me. For sure, Casemiro's got to be in there. I will put Sabitzer in there with a Casemiro, and then Bruno down the middle. But yet again, I mean, in my opinion, the best person in that role is injured. It would have been Casemiro and Eriksen for me, because you need those two would have kept the ball for sure. And it's just sad that he's injured. But yeah, it's a tough one. I think Weghorst would. I don't know what you do up top, man. Obviously Rashford is going to play for sure. I mean, it would be nice if Martial could somehow come back and play, because if Martial could play, that gives us even a better chance. We just need players that can keep the ball. Really, defense takes care of itself. Varane, Martinez, Dalot, and Shaw. It's just that midfield that I'm not just quite sure of, but Casemiro for sure. Maybe Sabitzer and Bruno.
Right.
It's hard.
Right. Any more questions?
I got one for Bems.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bems just declared that Ten Hag is a genius, and if he's backed, he's gonna bring us the league within 2 years, right? And I noticed you just said backed. So what if he's backed by the Glazers? Would you still feel even a backed Ten Hag with the Glazers can win the league?
I would say, from what I've seen right now,
Joe is the Glazers supporter.
From what I've seen right now, the only issue is the Glazers. They don't, apart from being back, right? You need the structure behind Ten Hag. You need the recruiting staff. You need that football. You need that director of football. You need all that behind them too. But if you back him, let's say the Glazers still stay, which is not going to happen, and you gave him the players that he wanted, I would confidently say he will be challenging for that title, guaranteed, next 2 years. Probably winning it too. The guy's a genius. When I mean the guy's a genius, you could tell the players are playing for him. He knows how to get the best of what he has. He doesn't have all the players he has, but if you get him what he needs, the players that he wants, I think we could win it in 2 years. It's possible. I would say that, yeah.
Yeah, we did speak to Bems after the game in the pub. We said, just as this league has so many ups and downs, and if, just say metaphorically, United win the league title this season, he said we'll put $100 down at the bar for everyone to have a drink on the $100.
How many drinks is that going to buy?
Well, as much as
$100.
First come, first serve.
That'd be 2 rounds and it's gone.
Oh no!
At least I'll get my Red Bull in there.
Yeah.
Hey, if it's one of these local Texas beers, it'll be enough for like 100 people. And cheap beers.
Yeah,
how much is a pint of beer? How much is a pint of beer in Houston?
Depends on the beer that you buy.
A premium beer.
Yeah.
It's
not going to get a whole lot of beer. It's not going to get a lot though.
How much?
Yeah,
Premium.
How much for a pint?
We don't really sell it by the pint though.
Yeah, we don't really.
Oh, you don't serve pints. What do you call it? Quarts.
We sell them like drafts and stuff.
Yeah, draft is the thing where you pump it out. But draft is the keg.
Yeah, we just tap. Yeah, it's just.
But what kind of glass they put it in? Is it a quarter?
A 12-ounce pint run you about $7 or $8 of premium beer.
$7, $8.
Yeah.
No, that's $8, which is about $5.50.
That's quite expensive.
It is.
Houston, it's more expensive in Denver. Denver is fucking expensive.
Really?
Oh God, yes. Oh my God.
Yeah, Denver's expensive. Denver's expensive.
Friggin-
Denver's not cheap.
$5 in Houston, I'll go down to the Taco Bell, I'll eat like a king.
You're gonna get that
Denver,
in
man.
Denver,
You're talking about doubling your ticket everywhere you go.
Right.
Denver's
right.
expensive, man.
Right. So everyone seems to be
But
very
we all
hopeful.
know. But
Go
Tim,
on,
let's
Ben.
not keep our hopes high. We ain't winning no league, man.
Wait, no.
We're not in a title
Hold on. The way this
chase.
season,
Bems, what does your crystal
We're
ball
not
tell you?
challenging for no title, nothing. We're
Yeah,
just
the
in
way
top
this
4
season,
race. That's it.
Bems,
We're in
ask
the
the crystal
top 4
ball.
race. That's it. It's a wrap.
the
Ask
way
the
this
Top
crystal
4
ball.
race is a wrap.
Order.
Okay. Vim, you're about to say something. I'll talk
No,
after
I
you.
was saying, what does Bem's crystal ball say? Obviously, it says 2 years, but not this year. We're 5 points behind
crystal
Arsenal.
Ball.
Hmm.
We're not winning the league. We're not challenging for no league. We're not. Let's be realistic here. We have so many injuries. We're playing so many games. We're the only team. We're the only team in the Premier League that's playing in 4 tournaments.
Hold on. My rebuttal to you, Bems.
It's not going to happen.
My rebuttal is this, Bems. This season is so too twisted. You just never know. Arsenal were flying. Now you see they're struggling. No. Hold on.
Is there a possibility?
Yeah.
There is a possibility. Arsenal
We're still going to drop points.
I guarantee you, Arsenal will not beat Man City over the 2 games. They will drop points in those 2 games. It guaranteed.
Okay.
We are still going to go to Anfield. We've got to go to Anfield. We've got to play Chelsea Old Trafford. We've got to play Spurs at the Lane.
We're still going to drop points.
Yes. So is everyone else.
Yeah.
I
know, but we're playing more games than everyone else. We're playing more games than everyone else. Right. We don't have the squad to play all these.
Everyone else is still in the Champions League. Arsenal Europa League.
Everyone else is not playing.
Look, if we don't beat Barcelona, if we don't beat Barcelona, we're out of the Europa League. So we focus on.
How many teams are in 4 tournaments right now? How many teams in the Premier League are in 4 tournaments?
City?
Tell me.
No, Man City. Okay, they're out Carabao.
Bems, is it a possibility?
How many teams are in 4 tournaments? Just tell me.
Let me
How
ask
many teams are in 4 tournaments?
Bems,
Who can answer that question for me?
Let Kenneth go on.
Bems, you're so focused on the no that you're convincing yourself and others.
Okay,
there is always a mathematical possibility.
Kenneth, respond to Bems, then Vim, respond to Bems after Kenneth.
Yeah, Bems, it's a good question. However, if you notice, Arsenal's problem at the moment is because they're only playing on Saturdays. The more games you play, the more momentum you get. Does that make sense?
True.
Yes.
I agree with that.
That's what it. Now, if you notice, players like Sabitzer, if we're playing every Saturday, he won't get enough games to kind of get. But because we've played so many games, it's like Rashford as well. So he keeps that momentum. Oh, it's every 3 days. It just rolls on. If you look at when we won the treble, it was Saturday.
It was
Wednesday, Saturday, and we won the treble because like ETH said,
for how many months?
Players would rather play.
Was it for like 4 months?
We were fighting in 3 trophies, 4 trophies. We lost the semi-final.
How long did we play 3 games a week for when we won the treble?
Literally the same.
It also forces you to rotate. So you bring in.
UTH was saying as well.
And you know what, Bems? Those days they used to play Epic Cup replay. So when you draw the first match, you're replaying it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was saying that players would rather play football.
I have a question
matches
for that, though.
Train.
Okay, Ken. Okay, Ken. I got a question for you on that one, right? We were playing every. So I'll say this, right? Then, did we have a better squad for that?
Kind of.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Okay. How long did that squad How long had that squad played together under the manager?
Yes, but my argument against that is that because we've got a new manager, it gives him time. It gives the players to try out what he's telling them. So you can easily go to a video, look at this game on Saturday, look what you did, don't do that. Look at the one on Wednesday, look what you did, don't do. But to go back a week, it's like players already, if you've played football, you understand that, you'd rather just go into it just becomes a pattern. Yeah, I'll let Kay go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, one thing that everyone's forgetting, the anomaly, the World Cup, that's going to take its toll on a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Thank you.
From March.
A lot of teams, also to the other teams, Ben, not just United. Other teams.
It's going to make a lot of hiccups.
Okay.
That's why I said a lot of teams are going to drop points.
Yeah.
Like Man City used to be able to go on a 15-game run. That's not going to happen this season. And Arsenal ain't going to be able to do that.
Kay brought that up. That's another reason why. The thing is, right? The thing is, out of all these teams that are going for the title, let's say, right, all of them have been with the manager longer than us. One. Right. Two, the drop-off between their first team and the second team is not as much as us. Three.
Which team?
We are
only City.
I mean, Man City's got two teams.
Man
City's got two teams.
Arsenal haven't got strength in
Arsenal have one team.
Arsenal haven't got
they got one team. I mean, when Saka and Martinelli go,
they have 11 guys.
But they just strengthened though. They just strengthened
one at a time.
January transfer window. They just strengthened though. They got
Trossard.
They got Jorginho.
They've only got Jesus.
Okay, Jesus come back. But guess what? They're playing in less tournaments than we are. As of today, they're playing Premier League, Europa League, and maybe FA. Because I know they dropped out of one. Or was it Carabao?
They're out.
They're out of Carabao and FA. Right?
Can I chime in?
Only two.
That's one game because we're in the final, so that doesn't make sense now.
Sorry, my bad. My bad. I forgot. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay, but are they in the FA Cup though? Arsenal still the FA Cup?
Arsenal out.
They're out.
They're out. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the only tournaments they're in is Premier League and Europa
League. Yes.
Okay. City are out of Carabao. There's only FA Cup, Champions League, and Premier League.
Yes.
Okay. Who else is there? Newcastle, only Carabao Cup. They ain't nothing else. Who else gonna talk about? Who else? Chelsea. Liverpool. That's not even Liverpool. They're out. United are in the Europa League, Premier League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, and we play 2 extra games to make it into the Europa League, guys.
Let me bring in Vim.
Two extra games that we shouldn't
have been playing. Bems, we all know you've convinced yourself it's not going to happen. We all know that. You've convinced yourself, and therefore you have to convince everyone else that it's not going to happen. But you cannot rule out the possibility that mathematically it is possible. Yeah, we're only 5 points behind. So just keep an open mind. We don't know how we're going to fare in Europe. Mathematically, it's possible.
I will call it a miracle.
No, it's not a miracle.
It's a miracle.
You've convinced yourself. You've convinced yourself. You really have convinced yourself. I can see it. But if we drop out,
I'm being realistic.
No,
I'm going off of
you're being realistic in your mind. But look, if we drop out of the Europa League, which is very likely because we're going to come against Barcelona, we play Newcastle. That's one competition ended. Then we're in how many competitions? Two competitions. Then it's possible, right?
2 after that.
Right, and then we get our full squad back. We have Casemiro, we have Rashford firing in form. Rest of the season, Weghorst probably contributes to goals. We've got excellent centre backs, and we're 5 points behind.
At the moment,
I don't personally think we'll win it this season. I don't think we will, but there is a possibility if things fall in our favor.
It can happen. Okay. I'm not saying we will. It can happen because, like I said, Arsenal who are leading will definitely drop points. I can't see them beating City over 2 games. That's 6 points there. I can't see it happening. It can happen, but I don't see it.
It's not gonna happen.
Arsenal are still going to go to Anfield.
See it, man.
Arsenal going to go Anfield. Liverpool will not have anything to lose, but they're fighting for pride at that point. We're still going to go to Anfield.
Tim, after Man City, they've got to go to Villa away, and I can't see Villa losing 3 games in a row because they lost the game before today. They lost to City. They're not going to lose the 3rd game. I don't think they'll lose to Arsenal.
I think Arsenal are going to drop 3 more points. I can see them dropping a few more points.
No. See. Look. I mean, I'm glad. You know what? I'm glad you guys are very optimistic and positive. It's good. I like the positivity around me. And so
we're trying to. It's an intervention. It's an intervention.
I don't like to be too positive because when we fail, it hurts me so bad. So I
know it's a defense mechanism. It's a defense mechanism. You don't want to get hurt. You don't want to get hurt. But I want to hear your view, Louis.
Louis, come on.
I think. Look, I think it's very where we are currently is the best side that we've been in a long time. That's facts. Erik ten Hag, with what he has had, has made magic, and he's made wonders. I think where Bems is absolutely right is we don't have the depth that we feel that we need to win titles and to push for championships and that kind of thing. Where maybe Arsenal necessarily don't have the depth. What Arteta spent a lot of money in and a lot of time in was building the support staff around the team to support those players playing in, week out. We haven't done that. It was a shithole. Old Trafford is a shithole. Freaking, we're not buying the players that we need. So, I mean, Ten Hag, I agree with Bems, he has done what no manager since Ferguson has been able to do for this club, which is, number one, get the best out of them, but number two, also inspire them to play as a team. And that's where Bems, I think they have an excellent point, which is we have never been this cohesive since Ferguson left. We're in a place where our players are playing for each other. Casemiro is getting a 3-match ban because motherfuckers want to come in and knock Anthony and potentially injure him, right? And we're not going to stand for that kind of stuff. So we are on the precipice of seeing something very, very positive for Man United. Now, where we have to go is new ownership, number one, but more importantly, an ownership that is willing to invest in Manchester United as a project and as something to build rather than a marketing scheme, something to pull money from, something to make money off of. And that's where, and I mean, that whole debate, and we can go into that for hours. That's a whole nother thing. But bringing in somebody who wants to go to a Ten Hag and say, okay, what do you need? And then Ten Hag can say, I need this player, and this player, which he's done. But of course, we got him scraps, right? And after the Carabao is over, things do look a little bit more positive. It really depends on this first leg against Barcelona, how well you do. And if you're able to get past Barcelona, it's a huge step. It's a huge accomplishment. If you're able to get past it. And look, Arsenal they're bottle jobs, man. That's what they're best at. So do they sacrifice points here between the end of the season? We're the only one who's played all top 6 clubs twice, right? Yeah.
No, we still got to go to Anfield.
Except for Liverpool. We haven't played.
We still have one more game against Liverpool. Okay,
and one more game against Spurs.
It's just
Chelsea.
It's just one more thing that goes in our favor, right? So it's like, I mean, is it done deal, done and dusted? Absolutely not. Is it likely? Also probably not. But I mean, it's okay to be a little bit optimistic, and it's definitely okay as a United fan base to enjoy the wins that we're having. Today was abysmal. It was absolutely abysmal for 65, 70 minutes. But, I mean, for me, and we haven't gotten to this point yet, Tim, but my man of the match was Ten Hag. I mean, the subs, just the tactical, change of playing on the back foot versus playing on the front foot for a limited amount of time because he wants to reserve these players. And it was tactical masterclass, and we walk away with the 2 points. It's those kind of changes. It's that kind of those kind of tricks that potentially could win a Europa League for us, or potentially could put us, if not top of the league, I mean, within striking distance at least.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not categorically saying yes, we're winning the league title. I'm saying it can happen. Mathematically, it's still possible because we're only in February. The whole of March, the whole of April, and there's still about 16, 17 games to go. Anything can happen. I'm telling you, anything can happen.
We have a much better chance on winning a cup, right? We have a much better chance on winning a cup or two than winning the Premier League. It's just too many games to play in a competitive league.
You're right. You're right, Bems. You're right, Bems. However, I think what we're saying, and Roy Keane.
Ted Lasso Cup. You got to
believe. You need some of that Ten Hag belief.
Roy Keane.
I can't believe all the way like you guys. Yeah, can't go ahead.
Roy Keane summed it up nicely. I think what Roy Keane said today was spot on. We just need to be in and around them. to capitalize.
Keep pace with them.
And if, Ben, I know this, you're going to like this, if they slip up, which is likely, you just need to be around, like around 7 points, 8 points, 5 points behind. So when it gets to squeaky bum time is end of March, April. That's when squeaky bum's time. You just want to be around. So when it gets to squeaky bum time, you can then battle them and see who can cope with the pressure.
I still think Arsenal.
Arsenal were leading up to 11 points at one point.
I still think Arsenal, when they lose some of their key players, they might struggle a little bit. Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, they don't have much depth. And when, so City have the depth. We have depth, and we're starting to use our young players now as well, which is a positive thing. You know, we've got 2 decent players in each position now, especially going forward anyway on the wings. In midfield, we've got 3 decent midfielders, very, very decent midfielders, and the centre back we're okay. So, you know, I think we stay up there and just hope that something goes wrong with the other teams, and then we have a chance.
Just be there.
But I'll give you guys this. I'll give you guys this, right? If I go percentage-wise, City have a 60% chance. City.
Oh, you've done the mathematics, have you?
Based on for me, City have a 60% chance on winning this title because they've done it before. They've proven it. Arsenal, 35%
Not as many times as we have.
What's our percentage?
35% chance, right? Our percentage is 5% right now, as it stands.
Are you sure you're using a
we have a 5%
calculator
chance
working?
on winning the league. There's a 5% chance based on what I've seen.
So where you get these percentages, mate?
My percentage is based on,
It's based on his belief, which is quite low.
It's based on, out of 100, right? Like,
it's meant to add up to 100 though.
No, it adds up to 100. It's 60, 35,
65 and 35.
40,
65 and 35.
No, you said 65 and 35 and 5%. So that's over 100.
Well, 60, 40, right? 60,
so
40
you're saying that's
105%
right? You gave us. So that's a wrong Ben's calculator.
No. What I said was 60, 35, and 5. I said 60, 35, and 5.
Okay.
No, he said 65.
We heard 65.
No, I said 60, 35.
Why
I said
did
60.
Man City have a higher chance of winning
60,
the league
35, and 5
than Arsenal did?
What?
Why do
Man
City have a higher chance of winning the league out of second place than Arsenal do? I'm confused.
Because they've done it before. They had the experience. They've done it back to back. Arsenal have not done it for years.
Yeah,
okay.
That's not from, I mean, you don't have to agree with that, but I'm going on based off of City has done it. City right now, City is the only team in the Premier League, right, that could put a run of 15 games and go and win that title. They've done it before. Arsenal haven't done it. Arsenal going to drop points. Arsenal going to drop points.
Are you also including, though, the Man City stars who are looking at the door because of the allegations against City?
I'm not looking. In fact, I think that could even galvanize them.
There's balance in that locker room right now.
I'll put it this way. I think that will even galvanize them. The game against Spurs, right? I'll put it this way. Pep has been tinkering with that team for a while. That's why I think that's another reason why they haven't been winning that much, right? But today, guess what happened? He puts out his best team. He says, "Fuck." Oh, sorry, excuse my language. He said, "Forget this. I'm gonna go win this game." He puts out his best team: Diaz, Laporte, Walker, and he puts what's his name in left back? And then midfield was against Aston Villa today. De Bruyne, Rodri, and Gundogan. That game. I mean, halftime 3-0.
Yeah, but
halftime 3-0.
The home form's
I think you're grasping at straws, bud. Sorry, I don't.
What?
I think you're grasping at straws. I don't.
You're saying that the home form is bad?
What's that?
The home form's always been good. The home form's not the issue. It's when they go away. And for me, it's the fallout with Cancelo, Foden not playing. There's stuff going on behind the scenes, I think, in that team.
Oh, also, Pep said he would threaten to walk away from the club.
Hold on, Ben.
I agree.
Let Bim
Did you hear about Pep saying that if the owners have lied to him about this financial fair play allegations, he would walk away from the club. He won't be around.
Yeah, that was last year. He said that last year.
No, he said it. He said it just now.
He support. No.
He just said it recently. He said it recently. The owners have lied
Today?
to him. Yep. No. Well, this week.
No. That was last year. He said that.
No,
last
no.
year.
He's
When
actually
he
said
that
it.
last year.
He's also
When?
said it
Because
again
the
when the
last-
allegations were made. There are 100 allegations
No, the
made
press
against.
conference. If you watch his last press conference, you watch his last press because I watched it. If you watch his last
Did
press
anyone
conference,
else
he
get
didn't
that news?
say what he said last year.
Did
He
anyone else
said
get that
I
news?
know he said that last year.
I know
he
you.
didn't say that
I think.
recently.
I
No,
think
he didn't say it again
I
recently.
think when the FA released the allegations, he retreated. If there's any more foul
Yeah.
play, he will be leaving.
He'd walk
But
away.
He'll walk
No,
away.
he
But
did
this is
say
the
it again.
issue.
He did say it again like a few days ago.
Exactly. It was in the
He did
news.
say it again.
Yeah.
Go on,
because
go on,
and
Beanie Man
if he's
Sports.
saying if he's saying that, that is a problem there for City, a big problem.
Big problem.
No. If he's but the thing about it is that again, but if you watch the press conference before the press conference for the City Villa game, he was saying that okay, why are people all of a sudden just isn't thinking we're guilty? Like let's prove us isn't we're gonna get the lawyers, we're gonna fight
That's
this, whatever
guilty.
he's saying. At the end of the day, in this country, is innocent until proven guilty. He was basically, and he had to say that he could.
That he won't say
can't
that
just
about
be.
Mason Greenwood.
What did you say? What did you say, Louis?
I said I bet he wouldn't say that about Mason Greenwood though.
Proven innocent until guilty. The thing is, the allegations against City are quite serious because what they're doing, they're bringing in money into the club through means that they're not declaring. You're supposed to have sponsorship and revenue, actual revenue from the club, and they're disguising Qatar money as revenue from the club and buying their way through this league. So that's how they've broken financial fair play rules, and there's 100 allegations against them. They can't get the money into the club to spend, so they have to disguise it.
I know there's all that cloud behind him, but I also think that this could galvanize these players together, and they can still go on the run regardless because he's Pep. He's the best manager in the world. He's got the players, and I still think, regardless of that, I still think that City can put a good run of games. And Wednesday, if they beat because they just beat Villa today. If they go and beat Arsenal, in away, you're looking at okay, they might be onto something again, trying to get that the winning run again. But I still think you can't write City off right now. I just can't. I can't, and that's why I give them that 60% because they've done it before
60%.
multiple times.
Right.
60% chance on win the league just because of that, and then Arsenal 35% chance just because they are in the position they are in. They've got the points on the board. Yeah, they're gonna still drop points, but there's still a chance. And then us 5% because we're the only other team that is showing that we can put points on the board to try to do something.
Okay. So, let me bring in Joe quickly. Joe, can you hear us?
Yeah,
Joe,
can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
All right.
From what Bems is saying, he's giving City 60%, 35% for Arsenal, 5% for Man United to win the league title. I get it. What we are saying is, it's not mathematically impossible for United to win the league. It's not mathematically impossible.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they can because the points on the board are only 5 points. You got the games in hand. You have to put the games in hand as have points. I always don't count games in hand anymore. You have to get the points on the board because no guarantee you're going to win those games.
Yeah.
Arsenal leading United, what, 11 points before Christmas? It's now down to 5 points. And there are 16, 17 games to play.
Yeah.
That's my point. It's still mathematically possible. I'm not saying it's impossible. This football, you just never know. Like what Roy Keane said, from what Ken said, as far as you stay close to the top, be there. If there's a mistake, take your chance. That's all you can do. That's all you can do.
Okay, so to me, I see where Bems is coming from as far as like City's concerned, because he's thinking about mentality, teams being able to overcome adversity,
pressure,
drop off, pressure. They've been there before. They've done that. It happens, Arsenal, definitely, yeah. Like, I don't know because it's such a young team. Even though they've been with him for a while, they haven't been in this position before, So do they have the mentality? Do they have the winner's mentality? Is this going to be one of those kind of great runs that, you know, they'll fall short on? If they can stay healthy, they have a shot. But if there's any major injury, right, we're talking about like if they, I mean, we're talking about a lot of these other teams that are, you know, that backslided, like Chelsea and Liverpool. They went through a hell of some really bad injuries that really rolled off the
Derailed the whole season.
Derailed the whole season. For Arsenal, it only takes about 2 or 3. For City, I don't know, because like it feels like Pep is the X factor. Pep, I feel like Pep is the guy that can push him through to win the league if Arsenal drops off. But Pep is also the guy that can fuck it all up for them. Because, you know, with this whole issue with what's his name heading over to Bayern Munich, right? Like Pep, he's a certain kind of manager, and that kind of manager doesn't always mesh with a lot of players. Where you have somebody like Ten Hag, right? He's like a player's manager. You know, this is the kind of guy, just like, you know, the freaking Mighty Ducks mentality. I don't know if Ken caught that one, but it's like the Mighty Ducks mentality, you know, that whole underdog thing. So that's why, and because football is football, man. Football is football. This is the same sport we're talking about where Saudi Arabia beats Argentina, right? Like if you know, Benz, you've played games where it's clear the other team has better players. Right? But if you guys have like the juice, when you guys get that, it's almost infectious, man. It's like an Ebola of fucking just confidence, and it spreads. And you know, second duels, first duels, being physical, that's how teams, I mean, that's what it's gonna take for us to win. You know, we have to will ourselves, right? And to say we shouldn't still strive for excellence just in case, we should always be playing as if we just need a shot and then we're going to take it and run. We should always play like that.
100%.
We should always play like that. As if like, this is what we're doing, right? And it should be like a mentality. There's nobody on that team that should be thinking, oh, maybe we don't really have to put a strong team on the Europa League because, you know, we're kind of solidifying ourselves with the Champions League. I mean, not the Champions League, with top Europa 4. So it's like, you got to want to win everything. And I get it. We're a little bit lax when it comes to with injuries and stuff, but that's up to Ten Hag. And to me, his rotation, hands off. I don't got no opinions about this dude, man. This guy's been right more times than I've ever seen. Like, it's almost like it's weird. It's weird. It's weird that we're here, right? Where we'll see a manager do something, and like 9 times out of 10, well, you know, 9 times out of 10, we see one of our managers doing something crazy. 9 times out of 10, we were right. That guy, I don't think it's gonna work over there. Guess what? Didn't work, right? And when the most important part about this guy, when he realizes shit ain't working, he'll make that change up. Like today, I think Malacia was having really difficult time on that side, right? He automatically saw it. He picked up the yellow, and I was looking at it. I was like, man, Shaw needs to get back out there, you know. And that's exactly what, like, he sees it, man. It clicks. And having a manager that's that ready, and having a team that's that ready to take the reins off of the top of this league, hey, man, I'm all we can do is do our job and project that energy towards them, man. When we sing our songs, that's what we're singing for. We're not singing for top 4, man. We're singing for the league. So let's go. I get it. Protect the heart. Keep it close.
Well said, Joe.
Well said, Joe. I like that.
You know, but the best kind of love is the one where you gotta sacrifice, man.
Yeah.
You sacrifice. That's the best kind of love, man.
Imagine what the players are going through. You know, they want us all to believe in them. They have the belief. They all fight for the manager. They all come on and work hard for him. Ten Hag's obsessed with winning, and his players are becoming obsessed. So don't you think the players deserve our belief in them?
Exactly.
We need to be obsessed too.
Right. Thank you very much, Joe.
Man.
Right.
You're
Any
supposed to
last
be the
questions?
irrational ones.
Any last questions? Anyone else? Louis,
No, I
Bim.
mean, yeah,
Yeah, go on, Louis.
I think definitely where we are now is a reflection of Erik ten Hag. I think the fact that you go from the worst United side ever, points wise, unto where we are now, it's a reflection of the manager. And I think what the biggest difference is, yes, Ten Hag is obsessed with winning, but I also think that Ten Hag came into this situation with the mentality that he was going to do what he wanted, and he necessarily can't make all the transfers that he wants to, but we time and time again we wondered why managers were starting Harry Maguire and why managers were starting McFred and these kinds of things, and it kind of came out, and basically that these managers were beholden to a board that wanted to see popular players play, English players play, players with high social media standing play, and they based their longevity at Manchester United on making the board happy, whereas Erik ten Hag is basing his longevity on, can I win titles? And this is the type of manager that we've been hungry for since Ferguson left. And what it comes down to is, hopefully under a new ownership, maybe we can back him properly, new ground at Carrington, proper support staff around all the players, and then proper investment when the transfer window opens up. So the future is extremely bright, especially under Ten Hag. And it is on all of us to get behind him.
Right. I'm gonna ask you guys last week. All I want is win, lose, or draw. Louis, Barcelona Thursday.
Skeptically optimistic. I'm going for the win, but
Joe.
not by much.
Joe.
I'll be a draw. 2-2.
Bams.
There.
Go for a draw.
Bim.
I think it's going to be a draw, and we'll try and get the win back at Old Trafford.
Ken.
I'll go for a draw because someone just posted in the United Road group, Barca have only conceded 7 in the league all season.
That's a lot, bro.
Ken,
That's one tight defense, bro.
Can I ask?
That is not including, however, all the goals that they gave up in the Champions League and the reason they're in the Europa League. Just saying.
Yeah, so is that just domestically then in La Liga?
That's their La Liga.
Yeah.
Ken, were you shouting at the screen today or something? Watching Leeds?
No, I just saw Pro. I had saw Pro.
Right. So obviously, it seems everyone. I personally, I'm going for a draw. I personally will go for a draw. I think we could get a result there, get a draw, and take the game to Old Trafford and finish it off.
Draw, please.
Yes, I'm going for 2-2. I'm thinking 2-2.
Yeah, 0-0 is very dangerous.
Right, gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. That game's an early kickoff. It's 11:45 a.m. here, which is 5:45
in the
UK time. What does that mean? I don't know why it's so early.
5 a.m. in Denver.
Right. Wow. Right, gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. We will reconvene next Sunday when we play Leicester. We would already play the first leg of Barca and playing Leicester. So we'll see where we are. Fems, United might be topping the table then.
But you saw what Leicester did to Tottenham.
I know, right?
That was a surprise.
Wait, we might be top of the table when we play Leicester City.
We're at home. Thank God we're at home.
Bams, humbug, Mate.
That's not going to happen.
Humbug Mate. That's a good one.
Now, Spurs scored first. I considered 4 goals. I don't know what's going on.
Nice one, Joe.
But gentlemen, have a nice week. Hopefully United make us smile again on Thursday. And we'll take it from there. Take care. God bless. I want to thank Louis for joining us on the weekend.
And United.
Bim, thank you. Ken, thank you. I know it's late in UK. And are you guys all getting ready for Super Bowl? Bim, you going to watch Super Bowl? I know it's going to be late for you. And Ken.
No, what time does the Super Bowl start?
Wicked, man.
It starts in an hour.
You got to ask me.
I don't think I've ever watched the Super Bowl in my life. But I'll have to start.
All right, Ken, are you watching?
Vim, just go to sleep.
I watched the highlights.
You watch the highlights. I mean, this is an American tradition. I mean, they're going to see that barbecuing and all that stuff.
Doesn't it go on for about 4 hours or something?
2 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours.
Joe, what is it? 2
You have
hours,
a lot
Joe?
of breaks in between and a lot of
like 3 hours.
I know you can watch
one at a time. One at a time.
I know you don't watch NFL.
It's going to be 3. It's going to be at 4 hours because the halftime show.
The halftime show. Who's performing this year?
Possibly
Rihanna,
heading towards 5.
Rihanna.
Like 4.5.
Rihanna. Okay. And that's where they bring all these crazy commercials. Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
best
I would even
one,
say
man.
maybe
It's
5
so
hours.
interesting.
Who's gonna win?
Have all been online for last
I mean,
week.
this
It's
actual
probably gonna be 5 hours today.
This actual Super Bowl is historical for the fact this is the first time two black quarterbacks are playing each other for the first time in 50 years. It's never happened. So
That
has
never happened. Yeah.
it's never happened. Even though the Kansas guy Mahone did say it's a very good achievement, but this thing should have happened years ago. That's all I got to say.
True.
On that note, we're out of here.
Who do you think is going to win?
I'm going for
Yeah, no,
I'm going for Kansas Chiefs.
I'm going for Kansas City too.
I would love the Eagles to win just for Jalen Hurts. He's a Houston native guy.
The quarterback
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the quarterback for
the
the quarterback for
quarterback
Philadelphia Eagles is from Texas. They both did the college.
He's from Houston.
It's from Houston. The quarterback is from Houston.
Both of them from Texas.
They're both from Texas.
They're both from Texas. Yeah.
Well, we'll just see. There's only got to be one winner. There can only be one winner.
Ken checked out.
I'll check the results tomorrow morning. No, I'll check the results tomorrow morning.
Yeah, check the results
You know,
tomorrow morning.
we had NFL games in Wembley.
Yeah, you've had them NFL.
Yeah.
They play at Wembley.
Talking all this stuff and
Hey, bro, I'll be the same.
Ken is looking at
I'll
something
be-
else.
Like you guys are speaking German.
I'll be the same, yo, man. I'll be the same when I'm on the. I'll be on the Facebook chat and they start talking about cricket, and I'm like, bro,
What's
not
cricket? It's just American football is just rugby with armor, isn't it?
Yeah, it just
No, it's
helmets and
way
No,
more
no,
boring
no.
than rugby with
It's
armor.
not. It's way more than that, man.
Rugby with
Rugby
armor would actually
rugby
be kind
cannot
of
compare at
interesting.
all. The rules are totally
Gentlemen,
different.
right.
The games
Have a
are
nice
totally
week.
different.
Yeah.
Have a nice week, and we'll hopefully United can make us smile on Thursday. I'll see you guys during
Thank
the
you,
week. Take
Tim.
care. God bless, and have a nice week, guys.
All right, bro.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Nice one, guys.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, take care.
Bye.